How much does it cost to file for a divorce in Michigan? People often think it is expensive to file for a divorce in Michigan, but that's not always the case. If you are filing for no-fault grounds such as irreconcilable differences, then the cost of your divorce could be reasonably low. However, if you're seeking a divorce on fault grounds like adultery or abandonment by a spouse, expect excess attorney fees to be included in your total divorce costs. In this video, we will go over the divorce process and examine associated costs. Types of divorce in Michigan. In Michigan, there are two basic types of divorce: an uncontested divorce or a contested divorce. An uncontested divorce is the more straightforward, more accessible, and more affordable option of the two. In a contested divorce, one party does not want to grant a divorce, at least not on terms proposed by the other. The divorce process in Michigan. To get a good idea of the overall cost of a divorce in Michigan, you need to know the process for filing. First, you must file your divorce papers for dissolution of marriage with the local district court clerk. This step is where you fill out the initial paperwork and send it to court. The initial filing fee can be anywhere from $175 to $275 and may vary by county. Once filed, Michigan law gives the defendant a 21-day window, 28 days if they live out of state or if the paperwork was mailed to them, to respond to the complaint filed by the petitioner. If the defendant does not respond in that time frame, you can file a motion for an order of default. This is a court order that forces the defendant to enter into divorce proceedings with you. If the divorce case goes to default because the defendant did not respond, it is automatically considered an uncontested divorce case. If your marriage resulted in children who need child custody and parenting time arrangements, or if you cannot agree on things like visitation rights, splitting up monetary responsibilities and housing, etc., then the next step will be obtaining a temporary order to decide what will happen until the marriage is entirely dissolved. Next is the discovery phase, where you exchange all of your financial documents and work out a detailed parenting schedule. If there are children, they will also be involved in this process. Negotiations are next, and this is the step in which it's very easy to rack up fees with either party's lawyer. This phase can generally last up to 6 months to 1 year or longer, depending on circumstances. If you cannot agree with your spouse through discovery or negotiations, mediation is the next implemented step. Mediation is where both parties sit down with a mediator and try to work out their divorce settlement either in part or in whole. Next, a final settlement conference is typically scheduled after the parties submit their proposed marital settlement agreements to the judge for approval. The goal of this hearing is to agree on all outstanding issues to avoid trial. When all of these negotiations are done, one final document must be signed and filed with the Michigan court. This document is called your dissolution agreement or marital settlement agreement. This document legally divides property, monetary assets, and cash from a marital estate. To recap, an uncontested divorce is the quickest, easiest, and best of all, the cheapest way to get divorced. Contested divorces are more complicated because they involve more court appearances, more specialists, do not always happen as quickly as no contest cases, and cost more money. With all that being said, what is the average cost of a divorce in Michigan? The reality is that the majority of fees that will incur will be in the legal fees that are paid to your attorneys. The average divorce cost of a contested divorce can vary depending on how long the process takes, whether or not specialists are needed for things like mediation, and attorneys' rates. A quick internet search for how much a Michigan divorce will cost brings back, a contested divorce costs on average $2,000 and up. Each case has different components, which makes this question impossible to give a more precise answer to. At DFWN, PLC, our office is well known for offering the best divorce lawyer services at affordable rates. We know that the average cost of a divorce can be expensive when legal fees start to mount. The good news is that we have many years of experience in Michigan divorce and don't need to waste time and energy finding the answer to questions we already have. So instead, we focus on helping you resolve your legal issues promptly and without unnecessary fees. If you need help with your divorce, please call us today at 313-458-8276 so that we can answer any questions you may have about the law or divorce process.